a really good defense starts up front. To win the line of scrimmage, you can control the game. In the games where I've been in the Super Bowl, it's your front is what gets you there. And they impact the game more than any position. You do need difference makers. You look at it, you study it, you've got about 2 to 3 at least on each side of the ball that are top 1 to 3, 1 to 5 at their position. That's real.
Yeah, and this is a guy, he's a little up there in age, and he was a late bloomer. But if we're talking versatility, if we're talking a chess piece, this guy is the chess piece. He's up over 6'4", over 300 pounds, edge guy, can play in a 2 or 3 point stance, off the edge, off the ball, at D tackle. He's got a little bit of everything, and he's super athletic as I let the film roll here. But I picked this guy because I'm thinking about what the Bills can do to switch things up, to still rush 4, but to add some creativity to their pass rush and their defensive scheme. And Hoecht reminds me of Lorenzo Alexander. Like, get a guy like Hoecht. When Zoe was in the Bills scheme early on, the Bills had to get creative with him. And I thought that's when they were at their best, because they did a lot of 3-3-5 stuff where Zoe could be dropping, he could be rushing. Him and Kyle Williams on stunts were filthy. And so I think that type of creativity is needed in the Bills scheme. And I think Hoecht could bring that because of his size, his athleticism. He could be that chess piece. He's very smart. Again, he's been in the league for several years, so he's got that football IQ, plays with active, violent hands, uses that aggressive hand technique to disrupt the offensive scheme and blockers. You see him drop into coverage a bunch, like we talked about with Chase on, he can do that. And think about that, dude. That's like a guy up over 300 pounds dropping into coverage fluidly. It's so much fun to watch. And then he's got that hustle, that pursuit ability. He's known for his tenacity and relentless drive in space. And you're seeing a bunch of that on these clips. He's a guy that I think when you watch the Rams film, he was doing a little bit of everything. And I think that type of player in the Bills scheme could just take the Bills' creativity to another level instead of just, all right, here are 4 down linemen. Let's just rush them at the quarterback. I think he could add that versatility and creativity to the Bills D and their staff.
I like how you also added like the old timey kind of voice too, like to kind of show how antiquated. Oh yeah, this is what we're doing. Like that. I like that. I don't know if you did that purposely or subconsciously, but that was very good. I like it. Well done. I watched a bunch of Rams offense this year, but defense as well. I really, really love Kobe Turner. I liked him coming out of Wake. I still like Cam Kitchens. And then just seeing what Verse was doing, I really was watching for those 3 guys. And throughout the year, just regularly, even before we got to the offseason, I watched probably between 6 and 8 Rams games on all 22 defensively. And I just kept seeing 97 flash all the time. And your cut up here is perfect because he was flashing like all over. Like 1 minute, he'd be on the edge and I'd be like, oh, okay. And then he'd be like in the A gap. And then he would like drop into coverage. And I'd be like, what the hell position is 97? Like, is he, because I knew they had like issues at linebacker. I was like, is he an off-ball linebacker? Is he an edge? Is he a defensive tackle? Like, what is he? And I think that question is so awesome to ask, especially as we get to, I love that one of him taking on the puller right there, especially as we get to this idea of this Bills defense doing more to disguise their fronts and getting into more sims and creepers and all that stuff. When you have a guy like this who can be a chess piece because he can line up in a multitude of spots on the line, he can drop into coverage, you add that little bit of variability and reduce your predictability to an offense. And even he got him like making plays down the field against Jonnu Smith here, like the hustle, the motor, the versatility, all of that being within the size and frame package, and then the violence and the tenacity, like you said. He's just a dude that if you're watching anything on the Rams, even if you're not watching for him, every game he's making, it feels like 1 to 3 flashes where you're like, who the hell was that? And I really like Hoecht.
Yeah, and to wrap it up, I mean, he's 27 years old, just over 27. He had 30 total pressures last year, 2023, 43 total pressures. He had 32 tackles in 2024, 47 the year before. He's just everywhere, man. 24 stops in 2024, 30 stops in 2023. He is a stat box filler. And again, I think he would force this staff to go back to being creative. And it sounds terrible to say that about the staff, but I think they need to add some things to this defense to keep the offense guessing, because again, whether it's the offense off coverage or it's, hey, they're just rushing 4, or hey, you know, the linebackers are out, so they can't rush Milano, you know, because he's out of the lineup and Bernard's out of the lineup. Like, they need to do some things to if you watch that Rams defense, they are so creative with how they used him. And there are multiple guys across the league like that. I mean, there's not even an average annual value for Hoecht right now. I don't know what it's going to cost, but I tell you what, he's the type of guy you want on your defense. And he's, aside from DJ Reader, he's probably number 2 for me, when it comes to defensive side of the ball, on guys I would love for them to take a shot on, because I think he could make an impact in a multitude of ways.
I second that notion completely. I really love Hoyt. He actually might. He's close to Fowler for me. Jones is my number 1 as well, and then it'd be between Hoyt and Fowler for my 2. But I really like Hoyt. That's very fair. Also, I don't think I mentioned for Fowler, projected around 5.2 average annual value from Spot Track. I think he'll come in maybe a bit lower than that. If the Bills could get him at like 4.5, 2.5, somewhere in that range, that would be a really nice, obviously, cost-effective ad for them as well.